ever get anxious just thinking about going on a road trip? Well, I'm here to let you know that you are not alone. Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I will walk you through the 5 most common road trip anxieties and how you can learn how to manage them. So come along, let's talk. Okay, so before we begin, this list isn't in any particular order. These are just 5 common ones that I have personally experienced and wanted to share with you and ways to manage them. So the first one is general travel. This one kind of falls under the category of being afraid of getting out of your comfort zone, just getting out of your normal routine, just driving from point A to point B and that's it. So, and just, wondering all the what ifs, things that could go wrong. So that's what this one is listed. Now, ways that you could manage it is, the first one is, start small, take baby steps. If you want to get out there, but just a little afraid, I would start out by finding something to go to, whether it's like a museum or anything that's roughly about 30 minutes away from you. Just practice. Go, drive 30 minutes, point A to point B, and then increase it. Once you feel comfortable, increase it to 45, and then an hour, and so on. So until you feel confident enough that you can get out there and explore what's the outside. So another one is try to encourage somebody to go with you. Not only does it help ease the anxiety, but it also makes the trip fun. Having somebody there with you, chit-chatting, laughing, and being there with you when you make the mistakes or something goofy happens, So try to encourage somebody to go with you, because it can be a lot of fun. So next one, to help calm those nerves is bring along your favorite music playlist, songs that you like to listen to and, help, take your mind off your troubles. Another one could be, an audio book, books that you like to listen to. So just, just something to have something in the background going, especially if you are driving by yourself. So, and I think number 4, this one's a weird one, but this one has actually helped me get through some crazy, things, like driving on the ice and stuff, and my anxiety goes through the roof, is try chewing gum. Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but like I said, for me, it actually helps calm my nerves. I don't know if just the chewing kind of is a distraction from my brain, but yeah, so try chewing gum and see what that happens. So something to try. So anxiety number 2, fear of getting lost. And that's a big one. Because nobody wants to be lost and really not know where you're going. So that's understandable. That's a popular anxiety, because nobody likes to not know where they're going or not to be in familiar surroundings. So things that could help you, have some type of GPS system, whether it's using Google Maps or another one called Waze. That's WAZE. Those ones are pretty popular. Those are usually pretty good. Just type in your coordinate, or where you're going from point A to point B, and that should try to help you. And number 2, if you are going in an area where there's no internet access or it's like a dead zone, you might want to think about printing out your route. Just you go on Google Maps and just type in your destination and stuff, and just print out a hard copy. That way it gives you, at least the written directions, so that, that could be a possibility, and also look for alternate routes too. So, because sometimes Google Maps will give you a couple other options to take, so you can do that as well. Number 3, consider using, it's an app that I like, that we use in our family, called Life 360. It's basically a tracker, so just in case if you're lost, or if to give us peace of mind knowing that you've made it, because it does give you a notification if you've arrived at your destination or if you left your current one. So consider that, and it's not a bad thing. It's just another piece, a tool, so to speak, to help get you an idea. And that's usually for friends or whoever because it's a circle. You can have so many people on there, and they can keep track of you if necessary. So if you get just think of using that. So number 4, it's kind of a popular one for me. Basically get familiar with your route. This really helps if you are going on a short distance. Say if you're going to a doctor that you've never been and you're not familiar with their area, go take a dry run. Get the directions and go practice to see. That way you can get familiar with the markers, the land markers and stuff, and you get familiar with the street names and everything like that. That's one of the things that I like to use, and I have used for a long time. When I was a kid and I had to go to another elementary school, one summer, my mom and I and my sisters, we actually walked to the school that I was going to, because I would have to ride my bike or walk to school. So it was to get me familiar. And this is before technology, with Google Maps and stuff. So I got familiar with the streets and got familiar with certain landmarks and stuff like that. So give that a try, and make sure that somebody knows where you're going, just in case. Give them a copy of that, so if you need to phone a friend. So that's another thing. Next one is fear of car trouble. Yeah, that can be pretty scary. There's nothing worse than getting stuck in the middle of nowhere and not having any cell service or anything like that. So, or just out of the blue, So to help with that, one thing I recommend is get your car, do a pre-check on it, or go get it checked out. Check the oil, check the tires, and just make sure, just get it an inspection to make sure that everything is tip-top shape. So and if it's not, then make sure you get those things done before you go out on the road. So 2, if it does happen, make sure you have a roadside kit with all the necessary stuff to try to make sure people are aware of you and things that you would need to hopefully get you back out on the road. Number 3, check your, I don't know how many people do, but check your insurance policy, because some companies actually have roadside assistance included in your policy, or it's something that you can get. So something to check out with your local agent. And also maybe can think about having AAA. That's another good one. That way, you can have some type of assistance, otherwise. So, number 4, if you're worried about, you're having issues with your car, if you're, something in your gut's telling you that it's, you've had it inspected and everything feels good, but you're still not sure, might want to consider renting a car for your trip. A lot of the rental places like Enterprise and stuff, they have it to where you can have unlimited miles. They have that package too, so if you want to try that route, you know, I would definitely consider thinking about renting a car, and that way it's, you know, you're not putting the miles on yours either, so just something to consider. So next one is number 4, social anxiety. Yeah, I did say that, you know, to, you know, encourage somebody with you, which I would always still, no matter what, I would always still recommend somebody going with me, regardless, because there are some things, you know, ways you can handle that, you know, but for the social anxiety, when you're on a long road trip, is just remember, number 1 is take turns driving. You know, if you're getting tired, you know, have the other person drive. That way, you know, you can take a break, you know, while you're driving. Another thing, yeah, that comes back to make sure you take your breaks. So like when you go fill up for gas or whatever, you know, you can use the restroom, stretch your legs, you know, maybe pick up some snacks or something. That way, you know, you can, you know, take a breather, you know, before you have to hit the road again. So just, you know, something to consider as well. So just, you know, make sure you get those breaks in. So, you know, before things get a little snippy. Another thing I recommend, for those really long trips, you know, you might want to consider renting a hotel, just for the night, just so that way, you know, you can get some rest, get cleaned up, you know, take a nice fresh shower and rest up and be ready in the next morning. So that definitely helps with a journey. So might want to look into that, and I would definitely, if you are knowing that you're going to go a long distance, and I would go ahead and plan that too. So of course, number 4, you know, that goes back to, you know, make sure you have, you know, snacks with you, water, you know, something to drink and stuff, because there's nothing worse than getting hangry and taking it out on your friend and stuff, or whoever's with you in the car. So you know, and if you have an opportunity for like a meal, for dinner or something, go stop at a restaurant or something, and, you know, and go dine in, go, you know, take a break, you know, just to have some good food, you know, get your belly full and get your batteries recharged, so that way you can go out there again and hit the road, Jack. So just, you know, something to think about. And number 5, of course, planning a trip. Yeah, there's nothing stressful, but also exciting than planning a trip, because you've got so many things going on that it ends up getting overwhelming and stressing you out. So, so ways to do that, of course, pick a destination. I know with the holidays coming, you know, a lot of family get-togethers and stuff. So, or if you want to do something different, like for us for Thanksgiving, we've rented an Airbnb and we're going to spend Thanksgiving out there. So, and ours is about a little over 2 hours away. So, I mean, we do have a little distance. So, but, you know, but definitely number 1, pick your destination, because you can't go anywhere unless you pick something. So, number 2, make sure once you have picked where you want to go, do some research on it. If there's a museum or an attraction you want to see someplace, you know, make sure you do your research on it. Find out the hours, the how much it's going to cost. You know, that way you can budget all that in, and, you know, get a time frame of when you need to get there. So kind of like something we did when we went to Idaho's, or first stop, we actually stopped at a car museum in Colorado, and they were only open one day, so we wanted to make sure we planned our trip around that. So so just make sure you do your research, otherwise, you know, things can get a little chaotic. Number 3, have a checklist, you know, of things that you need to do and things that you've done, you know, just kind of mark it off, you know, just get everything you're going. You need to, you know, pick a destination, you know, reserve a hotel, you know, all those, whatever you need to do, just, you know, make sure, and then that way you, you won't forget, although you may still, but there's less likely of forgetting than not forgetting, because as long as it's on your list. So just make sure you have a checklist or to-do list. That way you can keep track of everything that has been done or still needs to be done. So and then number 4, you know, be flexible with your schedule. You know, things unfortunately do happen. It just depends on how, you know, you handle it. So just, you know, make sure you give, you know, some wiggle room on where you're going. So because the main objective here is to getting to your destination, and make sure you get there safely. So if you're a few minutes late, no biggie, okay? It's not the end of the world, I promise. As long as you get there and you get there safe and sound, that's the number 1 goal. So, well, those are the 5 most common road trip anxieties, at least the ones I've experienced in ways that has helped me. Because one thing, I do love to travel and, you know, go on the road trips. But yeah, I still do get a little anxious, because I think it's the fear of the unknown, you know, especially if you've never been to a place. But it's worth it, trust me. And as long as you know, try these little helpful hints, you know, hopefully they'll help you. So, well, you know, like I said, don't let these road trip anxieties stop you from going out there and exploring. You know, remember, just take it one trip at a time, okay? You know, you don't have, it doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to do so much. So just, like I said, just take your time. You know, I know you got this. So, I mean, so go on, you know, go out there, go see what this amazing world has to offer. You know, even if it's in your own state, and nothing wrong with that. So, you know, go on and check that out. So, also, if you have any road trip anxieties that you have experienced, and ways that you've learned to deal with them, and that you would like to share, I would love to hear about them. So go ahead and drop a comment, and you know, I'll take a look at them and read them, and maybe I'll learn something. So and if you found this video helpful, please go ahead and hit the like button. And also, if you like this kind of content and want to see more videos like this, go ahead, please hit the share button for me. And I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, peace.